Alright, so we're going to loop back to 4 once. And then the full, because the flash exporter can't use the right type loop, we'll be back to the beginning. And I'm just going to save my WAV file for exporting and doing crap later. Well, exporting now, but doing all the cleanup stuff later. I really wish I could have finished this one. I love this song. I might come back later and just take this and finish just the song part of the song for a completely different purpose. But I do like the song, but man, this just takes forever to write. And I was going like light speed there too. Let me make sure it loops cleanly. The weirdest background in the history of golf games. There has never been a background song so utterly ill-suited for a golf game. I'm stoked as shit. This is perfect. This is exactly what I wanted. Just the most off-the-wall, bizarre golf experience on earth. So, yeah, viewer count dropped a couple. I had a feeling that would happen given that was getting kind of samey for a little while. I'm going to go ahead and take my longest break of the night. It's only going to be like 12 minutes. I got to make myself a sandwich and eat something, or I'm pretty sure I'm going to die like real soon if I don't eat. So, if y'all want me to be alive, which is sort of a prereq for finishing this game jam, I need to go eat real quick. So, I'm going to make myself a sandwich and chill out for just a second. I'll crank some non-offensive tunes in the meantime and put up a little "I'll be back soon" message. And when I get back, we're going to draw Digital Adam. He's going to be swinging a golf club, and we're going to start getting some physics and actual game stuff in there. We got quite a few of the pieces in place and ready to get coded, but haven't actually started that nasty part of the process yet. So that's next, ladies and gentlemen. I'm crank some tunes and put myself on hold here for a minute. Thanks, as always, for sticking with me and watching whatever it is that I'm doing right now. Making history, boring people more than back when they were in history. Who knows? Something like that.
Bravo 6, we'll see the incoming fire from the LZ. The lieutenant is down. We're going to stop here and check out what's in front of us. Over.
I'm on my way back. Sorry, you might have just gotten mic blasted. It's in the wrong spot right now. Okay. So, music is done. Well, it's as done as I can get it. So let's hook up the music. Right? We just got all this new, good, shiny stuff done, so let's toss that into the game where it needs to go. So, title music is easy. When the title frame starts, we play the title music. So let's find it. That would be Adam title. So now we got title music. That was easy. It's not looping or doing any proper behavior yet, so let's actually fix that now. So we're going to play and loop that song. And we are going to loop it infinitely. So that'll work. Cool. And we'll worry about the logic there in a second. And then let's go over here to game screen, and we're going to do the same thing here. When the frame starts, we are going to play and loop Adam target. And we're not going to worry about any of the conditionals governing other music because I only had time to get one song done. So that song is just going to play regardless of what mode you're on. Let me take my headphones off. I have no need for these anymore. Alright. So now we got music. We are going to need sound effects, but before it makes sense to hook up sound effects, we need things to be happening that require sound effects. So it doesn't make any sense to hook up a giant sound effects library to a whole lot of nothing. So let's just work it through linearly, which no programmer worth his salt should ever do. You should always go modular. These games are so small that screw it, we're just going to go. So what does this thing need to do, right? We need the screen to display, which is handled by the program. We need Murderatti Golf to happen, which is handled by the program. We need a picture over here, which you don't have yet. We need directions that don't take up 8,000,000% of our screen, which sadly may not be possible without a little bit of manual crap. Can at least cozy these up a little bit. I can cozy them up even more than that if I duplicate. Not exactly efficient at all, but that's okay. Efficiency is stupid. Efficiency is for people who care about how people respect their professionalism, and that is just not me. So let's throw this up top. And the more I'm reading these instructions, the more they do not mean much of anything to anybody, but it's something, so. Now, the way we're going to do this instead of doing this press Z to start thing, we're going to have 1, 2, and 3 as different start buttons for the different modes. So press 1 for driving range. Press 1 for a whole lot of nothing because it's too wordy. This is the major downside to working with really low res like this is you end up with I've just got overlapping text fields galore here. But as long as it displays properly, which that one doesn't, has no room for lowercase. There we go. And we're going to clone that bad boy twice. And we're going to change that to 2 for target mode. And 3 for murder mode. And I guessed my spacing correctly. So that is the busiest, most awful thing I've ever seen in my life. But it gets all the information across, and technically I can hook things up to where they need to go. I can replace all the cosmetic stuff later on. This is going to let me do what I need to do. So all I need to do with this title screen, right, is I'm playing music when it starts, which is good. It's going full screen, which helps me test. I have my Control Q test command. So what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to make a new event, and I'm going to need to say if you press the 1 key, then we're going to set some variable to something, and then we're going to jump to the game screen. So we'll worry about that variable in a second. We're going to copy that a couple times for the different numbers. If I press 2, it's going to do something different. If I press 3, it's going to do something different. So right now, all that happens is if you press 1, 2, or 3, you jump from the title screen frame into the game frame. Now, the problem here is there's no logic that tells it once it gets into the game frame, what is it supposed to do? Well, I can't control that very easily from this frame because they're separate frames. So I'm going to have to use my first global variable, and I'm going to need to set that global variable probably to 1, 2, or 3. And then once we get into the other mode, when the frame starts, we'll have it say, if the frame starts and we're in mode 1, start this game. If the frame starts and we're in mode 2, etc. So that should work famously. So let's go ahead, head over here to global values, and we are going to redefine, again, I've copied these programs over so many times that these are like triple defined and all sorts of terrible. This is just a mess over here, but again, do not follow what I'm doing as any sort of a programming example. This is just fun stuff. So we're going to have game mode. We are going to default it to driving range every time, just in case. And we are going to set this global variable to its appropriate thing. 1, 2, or 3, depending on which one you pushed. And we need to make sure that happens before it frame jumps. So we need to change our order of operations on all of these. Why is everything all out of place here? This is weird. I was wasting all sorts of screen real estate. I wonder why it formatted like that. Gotta love old programs made to run an XP that you're using on Windows 8. So cool. So now we have the basis of our mode selection, which is super, super easy. I don't honestly think we need much of anything else, although I do want to play a game start sound when you start the game with any of these. So let's figure out what that'll be. I'm going to do the same thing I've done with my last couple, which is to use my made in a day sound effects that I've already made, because making sound effects is a long, dark road you don't want to walk down when you're doing things quickly. I've had times where when I sit down and start doing sound modification, I'll crank out 10 usable sound effects in 30 minutes, and then I will spend the next 2 hours failing to create the 11th sound effect. So that's not nearly as estimatable, I guess would be a good term, as music for me. So I just reuse sound effects because I never know how long those are going to take. And I don't want to waste your time and have you watch me fail to